Welcome to NDTR Spotlight, a show where we highlight former and current NDTRs. And NDTR, if you don't know, stands for Nutritionist Diet Technician Registered. They also go by the credential DTR, which stands for Diet Technician Registered. In order to become an NDTR, you have to graduate from an accredited program, take an exam, and participate in continual education. Welcome to NDTR Spotlight. I'm your host, Marie Lorraine. Today's guest is a YouTuber, a blogger, has an Instagram, wrote a book. She is certified in nutrition and health promotion, community nutrition, and diabetes care and education, and is a licensed practical nurse. She has 2 associate's degrees, one in general sciences or general studies, and another in nutrition and diet technician, and a bachelor's degree in health sciences. She has the privilege of being a stay-at-home mom now, where she was working on blogging and nutrition and health promotion through her YouTube channel. So this is an interview to watch if you have any interest in YouTube or social media, because we're going to pick Vanessa's brain about that and about her book, Acid Reflux, My Story. So if you have any interest in acid reflux or writing even a book, definitely stay tuned for this whole interview. Vanessa, thanks so much for being here.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so honored to be able to sit and talk with you for a little bit. So,
Absolutely.
we're going to start with the general
and
question.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year 2021. Hopefully it's better.
Yes.
So, what made you decide to become a diet technician?
Well, I graduated from high school in 2008, and in high school, that's where I did my LPN program. So by the time I turned 19, I was already a nurse. And then I was supposed to become a registered nurse. That was the original plan. And I started like the prerequisites for RN, but I kind of got stuck because I didn't do well in like math. So I was stuck in remedial. And they were like, well, you've been stuck in here for a while. Is there any other major that you're interested in? And I said, well, I still want to stay in the health field, so that's when they told me they had a dietetic technician program. But this was at my original college that I first went to. So I started the courses there, and then after that I decided to go fully online because I just couldn't be on campus anymore. And that's when I started the dietetic technician program and learning more about nutrition.
Yeah. So, was the switch over from nursing to nutrition a hard one for you, or was it?
It wasn't too hard because in the beginning, the prerequisites are pretty much the same before you get into your core classes.
Mhm.
And but it's just, so I didn't really start any nursing courses for like the college part, but it was pretty easy, like for both. It wasn't too difficult.
Yeah, still very science focused, you'd say.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you have your associate's degree. How is studying for that DTR exam going for you?
Oh my gosh. My school, which was Central Arizona, that was where I did my distant learning. They provided me with the Visual Veggies program. So that's what I've been using mostly to study. But then I was like, I want to know if there's anything else out there besides Visual Veggies. And I didn't really find a lot of other material. So I was using mainly that. And then I went on Quizlet to do some like quiz. Somebody put up like a test. So I did the test over there, but I was trying to get more to like, they give you like an outline of things to study for the test. So I was trying to start from the beginning, but I'm like, I don't know where to get that information from, like, to really do it from the beginning. And then I found out that the CDR has their own study guide. So I'm going to be using that to study for the exam too.
So a combination of different things.
Yes.
Yeah. That's funny you say that because I usually only hear Visual Veggies or like what the Academy puts out. So there's not
Yeah.
that many resources.
Yeah,
So
there's not many at all. Because like
yeah.
for me, like for nursing, when I became an LPN and I was studying for that test, there
Mhm.
was so much like material and things to study from. And for this, I was like, it's so limited, so it was kind of tough.
Yeah. Because more people need to know about DTRs, maybe then more material come out. So you caught my interest. You said you had your associate's degree virtually online.
Yes.
So how were practicums for your program?
Initially, when the year started, I started out on the field. Like I was at a senior center
Mhm.
called JASA, and I did my food service rotation there. But then in March, that's when like everything with COVID started, and I was supposed to do the other parts of the clinical. And I went fully like online. Like my preceptor, I did work with her, and then my teacher took over, and I did the rest with her. So they had us like sign into a couple of programs that were like more so to help us, like more hands on
Mhm.
to help us with that process.
So did you just graduate?
Yes, I just graduated in May of last year.
Yay, congratulations. That's super
Thank
exciting.
you. But it took me a long time to get to that point because if I just backtrack a little bit,
Mhm.
the first associate's degree that I got in general studies, that was initially for the DTR, but I couldn't find an internship on my own and I live in New York. So it was difficult to find the internship. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to get my degree in general studies because I can still get it. And then that was in 2013. And then I just came back to the school like 5 years later, and they allowed me to come back and finish the program.
Wow. Okay, wait. Sorry. I'm a little confused. So you live in New York, but you did your associate's degree in Arizona online?
Yes, yes, it's fully online. That their DTR
Wow.
program is fully online. So you're responsible for finding your own internship. But that part was kind of hard for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't think I was going to really get it. But I was like, I really want to become a DTR. So, like in 2018, I went back and contacted them, and they were like, you can rejoin the program and still finish. So, while I was pregnant last year, I was doing a class that was like the pre internship to look for, preceptors. And that part was hard. And my director really helped me to get it. She was like, we're not going to give up. We're going to find it. So she gave me all the way till the end of 2019 to find a preceptor. She extended it for me and she helped me find one. She was able to contact them and I got it.
Wow. So in New York, you're able to find your preceptors.
Yes.
Wow. I did not know that you could do the diet technician associate's degree online. So
Yes.
with are you once you become get your certification and pass the test, would you be able to precept other students who'd want to be a DTR?
I actually wouldn't mind doing that. I think that would be pretty awesome, because it was such a difficult time for me to get through it. And I can imagine now, with COVID and everything going on, it must be hard to, find a preceptor. So I would definitely help. But I did get shut down a lot. So I was very like discouraged. It was hard.
Yeah, can you give any tips that you've learned or looking back, what would you have done differently for anyone interested in doing what you did?
um, any tips I would give? I think I would say just keep going because it's a lot. You're gonna get knocked down because well, getting through the courses, that's one thing. And then when it comes to the internship, that's like a whole separate thing. So it's like you gotta just keep moving through and, not let anyone get to you or bring you down or make you feel like you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it took me literally like 7 years kind of to just get through the whole thing.
That's good that you persevered.
Yes.
So so you graduated in May and now you have like done so much on YouTube. You've had YouTube, I mean, your first video was posted 2 weeks ago. You have 17 videos. You're above 100 subscribers, 182, which I don't know how you do that. That's so good. It's so hard to get people to subscribe to your channel. How has that how has that been? And what made you decide to start on YouTube specifically?
Actually, I had that channel active for a while because I tried to do YouTube a couple of years ago, but I didn't really like the way the videos were coming out, and then I just stopped altogether. So, um, then I was like, since I'm now almost done with, I finished my program, but I'm like, I want to start a business and eventually after I get my credentials. So I said, since I have a couple other, certifications and I have my nursing to help me,
Mhm.
to begin, I can start with, health promotion and other things, So I wanted to start the YouTube just to reach like a core audience. And then maybe if they're interested, I can do like consulting once I start my business. So that's why I wanted to start it. But the lifestyle part also is like different from the nutrition. So you can get both on YouTube if you want to see another side of
Yeah.
me.
So what exactly, I watched your first video, but for the audience watching, what is your YouTube channel about?
Um, it's about I want it to be about nutrition because for me, I'm gonna be teaching like about different aspects of nutrition and health.
Mhm.
And then the second part of the channel is just like my regular life. And my husband, he's helping me. He's joining along on the YouTube too, so he's enjoying it as well. So that's what the second part of the channel is about. But I still want it to be mostly focused on nutrition.
Yeah. I've enjoyed your videos in the Kwanzaa, and your husband is fun to watch too. So it's nice seeing a family that's focused on health out there.
Yes.
So you have your YouTube channel, but you also have a blog. So
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about you starting the blog and managing that?
Yes, the blog I started in 2017, so it's been there for quite some time, but it's blogging is like hard to be consistent because you have to know, what you want to write and you don't want to run out of ideas. But initially I started it because I got diagnosed with acid reflux like in 2013,
Mhm.
and then in 2015 I had like a drastic weight loss. I had a bad episode where I couldn't swallow food. It was like burning my throat, and then I lost like 30 pounds because I couldn't eat.
Mhm.
So I started my Instagram page, and then I started the blog mostly focused on helping people like with acid reflux to get through it. So I
Mhm.
wanted them to learn from like my experience. So that's why I initially started the blog. But because I was also doing the nutrition and schooling, I'm like, this is a great way to pair the two together.
Yeah. So how has your the initial start 2017 you said, so it's been a few years. How has your blog grown in your
Um,
writing or how you manage it?
in the beginning it was very slow and I didn't really know how to like optimize it or reach out to like other people. But then because I'm using WordPress, they have their own kind of like little audience, like general audience too. It doesn't go out to other people, so the people on WordPress can see your articles and stuff. So that's how I was able to grab like the people just directly on WordPress, and they found my blog. So now it's been growing because I learned how to use like the hashtags and get more people. Before I wasn't doing that because I didn't really know, but now I know certain things to do to get people to come to my website.
Okay, so you have to share at least one of those things that you're doing to get people to come to your website.
Yeah, so well, one of the things I'm doing right now is of course, I'm using Instagram
Yes.
to get people to come to the blog now because before it was just the WordPress. So Instagram, I'm really pushing it out there, come to my blog. If the link is in my bio, click on the link. So it's just constant reminder so people can know to come from at least that source. Because other than that, I think now they're pushing out my website on Google, so now it's popping up in the search. So that's the new thing that's getting other people to come to.
Yeah, that's good. I found your blog on Instagram, and I like how you have the link tree and you put just the titles of like some of your blogs, because that made me want to click it and like read a little bit as opposed
Yeah.
to just putting your blog. So I thought that was really clever for you to do. So you mentioned you started the blog because of your acid reflux, and I found your book. Can you talk about what made you decide to do that and put it out on Amazon for people to download and buy?
Oh my gosh. It was just like a spur of the moment because I was just looking up like no, somebody was talking about ebooks. I think it was another blogger. And I was like, I wonder if I could write one. And then when I looked more into it, it was like it's so easy to do. It's not really that difficult to make one. So I decided to do it since at the time so many people were interested on my Instagram about the acid reflux. I said, why not make a book and maybe they'll want to read it and see my real story if they don't really know it. If they haven't been following me for a long time, they can read about it. So that's why I wrote the book. So I tried to make it short. I didn't want to make it like a long book, but I wanted to make it very simple, just
Yeah.
telling them about my journey.
Yeah. Have you gotten any, or when did you write the book? I mean, you probably wrote it on there, but when did you write the book?
I think It was in 2018 I wrote that book when I was still trying to like pick up the blog. I'm like, let me try the ebook and maybe, that will drive a little bit more people to be interested in coming into the website from Instagram. So I wrote the ebook and I promoted it on Instagram. But I don't know if like it really got a lot of traction, but I
Mhm.
did put it out there, but I haven't seen like a lot of traction on the book or anybody saying anything. Some people did congratulate me at the time, but I don't know if they actually,
Read it.
went and read the book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sometimes
it's
that's the tricky thing with writing. People don't
yeah.
always read it. Yeah. Yeah. Would you consider writing another ebook in the future?
Absolutely. I think once I get the credentials for the NDTR, I definitely would consider writing more books now about like health promotion and
Mhm.
nutrition. I think that would be like a cool thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, I 100% agree. And I read the book and I think it wasn't too long and I enjoyed it was refreshing to see. I see a lot of patients with acid reflux and I kind of just look past it. So it made me think more like maybe I should stop and talk to these patients about that. So I definitely would recommend reading it. If you're watching this, go check out the book on Amazon. So I know you're not credentialed yet, but what are your plans for continuing education and staying relevant with your blog and your YouTube um, and nutrition?
Well, I'm always like reading books about nutrition and I'm into it like all the time. Like I'm always making sure I'm staying on top of the latest like nutrition news. And for continuing education, there are a couple of like courses out there you can do to just refresh
Mhm.
your mind on certain topics. So I'm always making sure I'm reading constantly different things on nutrition so that way I stay refreshed and up with the latest research, because it's important. Everything changes in like nutrition and the medical field all the time. So you have to stay on top of it.
So fast, yeah, and people's interests change too. So
Right.
specifically, since you're so much on social media and your YouTube, your Instagram, and your blog, how do you find relevant topics for your audience to hone in on?
Um, some of the topics are just things that I know I'm interested in. So I'm hoping that, I can push it out there.
Yeah.
And then other times I really have to like just go and do some searches. Like I'll look for like articles on the latest nutrition and just share it. And maybe they'll be like, interested in what's going on right now in the news in
Mhm.
regard to nutrition. Like the other day I saw an article that said that nutrition research is kind of like they kind of use it to like they push nutrition research out there, but it's not always factual, but it's
Mhm.
just kind of a way to draw people in. So you have to be careful like the things that you read. So I thought that was like very interesting. And I think people should know that because I think a lot of people read like articles and they think it's always true, but they have to be very careful because it could be all just about money. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like a hidden thing.
It's why evidence-based and having proper
Yeah,
credentials is so important for all of this.
absolutely.
So, in your experience, even just interested in health and nutrition, what has been your experience with diversity in the field of nutrition and dietetics?
Um, and like the diversity aspect, I feel like it's getting there. I don't think it's all the way there yet, but I feel like it's going to get there soon because a lot more people are getting interested like in the field. I mean, I could talk about my experience just like working in long-term care as a nurse. I know nursing is very diverse. You'll
Mhm.
see a lot of diversity in that, but in nutrition, I haven't really seen like so much of that.
Yeah. So you almost have your DTR credential. I know you're just about to get it, but thinking in the future, do you have any plans of pursuing the RD credential? Or are you going to stay with the DTR?
I wanna I do want to do the RD because that was initially my plan to do it, the RD. So, but I do want to get my experience as the NDTR to see what it's like.
Mhm.
So, I'm hoping that like I can. Well, one thing I found out is that even though you don't have the credential, you can still look for a job. They'll still hire you. So hopefully, I can find a job. Say if I didn't pass my test, I can still go out and work and get the experience. And then initially after that, I would try to pursue the RD like maybe next year. Or while things are still fully online because of COVID, I think I'll take the advanced.
How has the job search been so far?
Um, I've been seeing a lot of like long-term care jobs, like nursing homes. So I guess that's where it really is, at least in New York. I don't know about like other states, but I'm mostly seeing long-term care for like the NDTR, but it's not a whole lot of openings right now. So I'm hoping that maybe it will grow, but I think everything is like at a slow down point right now.
Yeah, yeah. Long-term care does pay, is one of the top paying jobs for DTR. So, and you get a lot of experience. So yeah, but it can be hard looking for that search. With
Right.
that in mind, that the trouble with job searching, what has been the most annoying or frustrating thing about pursuing this credential or that you've run into?
Um, I think the fact that a lot of people don't know
Yeah.
what who we are, I think that's the most like frustrating part about it. They're like, oh, we know like registered dietitians, but what's a dietetic technician? A lot of people don't really know what that is. So I have to explain to them all the time what it is. So
Yeah.
that can be a little frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, yep. That's what everyone says. We're going to change that one interview at a time. It's the goal. So, what resources have been super helpful for you on this journey?
Like as well for visual veggies helps like to study for the exam, and then I think just making sure you're just keeping up with everything is just the best way to approach like getting through school and studying. You have to keep up with the latest news like nutrition, because even when they're creating these exams, they draw things from what's going on now, and they'll change up the exam like every 5 years, so you have to make sure you stay in tune with everything that's going on,
Yeah. And
because I
relevant.
think next year they're going to be changing the exam for the DTR. So this is the last year to get this final, you know, um, the version of this test, and then they're going to update it next year.
Yeah. And when they update it, it's either harder or easier.
Easier, yeah. So
So,
I'm trying to make sure I do it before they change it.
yeah. With COVID, is your exam online or do you have to go into a building?
No, we still have to go into the testing centers. I had checked on Pearson View, and they said you have to check with the academy. And when I checked, they said they're still doing it at the centers. So I was hoping it was online, but I was like, no, I have to go out and do it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's not the best, but okay. I mean, it keeps you focused, I guess, in some
Yeah.
regards. And then, how is doing your blogging and your YouTubing, because you post like 3 videos a week. How is that with managing motherhood and being a stay-at-home mom? How's your time management and studying for the exam? How's that going?
It's difficult. A lot of the times I feel like I don't have time management, but like I just have to like work around like my son's schedule, because now that he's 1 years old, he doesn't really nap as often,
Mhm.
he's up most of the day. So when he does have a nap, that's when I try to push in everything, get everything done. And then I'm mostly up late at night, and that's when I'm doing everything. So like at 2, 3, 4 a.m., that's when I have to get everything done, because I know my day is so busy. I don't get a chance to really do. So I try to prepare everything so that it's already done for the week. And then that's how I push everything out.
Okay. Wow, yeah, that's not a lot of sleep. Before we close, I wanted to ask a little bit more. I wanted to ask a little bit more about your story with acid reflux. And in the book, you do give some really good tips. Some things I haven't heard about, like the nasal drip and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
so, what specifically in your story, or what's your message to people with acid reflux?
My message is that like it's not just what the doctors tell you. You have to do a little bit more to get through it, because the doctors will tell you just like the basics, like, oh, don't have coffee, don't have anything with tomatoes, don't eat spicy foods. But it's like so much more to it than that, because it's not only those things, but there's other foods, like there's even like fruits that you're eating that are acidic and you might not even know it, and it can affect your acid reflux. It's like a lot to it. So you have to do like the research to find out the foods that are acidic and non-acidic, and then you have to just play around to see what's going to really like affect or trigger your acid reflux.
Mm.
So they make it sound simple, and they'll just prescribe you like Prilosec, but you don't want to be on those medications long term, you know?
Mhm.
So you have to really like try to see what foods really agree with your body.
Yeah. So specifically speaking, like if you're with your patient and they have acid reflux, how would you guide that session, that coaching session?
Um, well, first I would start by, well, I usually, because I've done it before where I helped a couple of people through my Instagram page, and they did like a kind of like a trial coaching with me because I wanted to like get the experience. And what I did with them was like first they shared their story with me because you know we all go through a certain thing, and then after that I told them to send me a list of like all the foods that they're eating right now, and then half of the time they didn't even know most of the foods they were eating were not good for the acid reflux, but they were still, you know, eating it. So then after that, I said, you know what, let's create like a shopping list, you know, so we can, so when you go to the market, you can buy like the right foods, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to help you kind of guide you with the acid reflux. And a lot of them stuck with it and they're feeling like better now. So that's great
Yeah.
that, you know, the coaching session actually worked.
Yeah. It sounds like it's not an easy fix. You have to like work at it and talk about it
Yeah.
and work through it. So yeah. Wow. That's really cool. Is there anything you want to share with DTRs, former, current, or future DTRs before we close out the interview?
Yes, I would say, you know, don't give up, keep pushing for it. It takes a while to get through, you know, these programs, but, you know, you just got to keep going because it gets tough. Don't stop. Don't
Yes.
give up. No matter how long it takes, because a lot of people look at time and they're like, oh my gosh, it's been like 2 years, 3 years, and I'm still not finished. But you just got to keep going no matter how long it takes.
I really like that. That's really encouraging, even for me. Even with other things. Yeah, keep pushing at it. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Vanessa. Make sure you check her out on NutriFood and Lifestyle on YouTube and on Instagram. And you can find her blog via her Instagram. And if you like this interview, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below what you took away from it, and check out some more of our interviews. Also, a new update, we are now on Spotify and Anchor as podcast form. So if you want to listen to the interviews, they are there for you. Thank you so much for watching.